we're going to begin by making our rabbit's head. So take a 350 mocha brown and inflate it so that you've got a good long tail of 7, maybe 8 inches. Give your balloon a squeeze and we'll begin by making 2 3-finger pinch twists. So make 2 bubbles and then pinch twist those. Then make a bubble of about 5 fingers. Make a 3-finger bubble. Pinch twist that. Make another 3-finger bubble. And pinch twist that as well. So this is what you've got. Then we want to make a very soft 4-finger bubble. And pinch twist that and wrap into the 2 3-finger pinch twists. Bring your balloon up and make a bubble of about 7 fingers. Give it a good twist and down. Make a bubble of about 3 fingers and make a pinch twist. Doesn't need to be a very big one. So this is what you've got. We need to let a little bit of air, or I need to let a little bit of air out of this one. I want to give myself a little tail so that I can wrap into this cluster here. So we want to wrap our little tail into that double pinch twist at the back. And this is what we've got. So you've got the muzzle area, you've got the bridge of the nose, we've got the back of the head. Take another 350 with a 5 or 6-finger tail, give it a squeeze and wrap the nozzle into the double pinch twist at the back of the head. Give the balloon a squeeze and you want to create quite a small bubble, at most 3 fingers, and bring the balloon forward to that muzzle area, give it a squeeze, and we want to create a bubble of about 5 fingers. Actually, we'll go a little bit smaller. We'll go 4 fingers and wrap that into the muzzle. That's what you've got. And then we want to match these bubbles on the opposite side. So this is what you've got. Next, we're going to create the ears, and we need 2 350 mocha brown balloons, inflated at the tip, reverse inflated, and with a decent tail. So to achieve that effect, you need to put your 350 balloon onto your hand pump and pull as much of the balloon down onto the tip of the pump as you can, in the same way as you would inflate a 321 to the tip. Okay. And then inflate the tip first and then just the rest of the balloon as necessary. Tie off. And take your head Give your balloon a bit of a squeeze, but not too much. And we want to feed the 350 through the head cavity, and we can decide how long we want our bunny's ears to be. Twist that off and bring the balloon through on the other side, and you want to repeat that with your second balloon. So this is what you've got. With one of the balloons, if you've got a shorter one, make a 3-finger bubble and turn that into a pinch twist and position that behind the ears. So that's just holding the ears in place. And then we want to take one of the balloons at the side, and we want to make the side of our rabbit's head. So I've made a bubble of perhaps about 5 fingers, giving the balloon a squeeze so it's soft, and I'm going to try and feed the 350 through that hole there. Okay, and then we do the same on the other side. We match this bubble as best we can, give it a good twist, and then squeeze the balloon so it's nice and soft and feed it through that gap. And that's what we're left with. Next we're going to make the eyeballs. So take your white 5-inch round balloon, inflate it and place it inside the head cavity. You may need to let it down a little bit and wrap the nozzle into the double pinch twist at the base. Take one of the balloons at the side, give it a squeeze and just wrap it into that single pinch twist at the back of the head, and do the same on the other side. So we're encasing the head at the back. And we can snip off these balloons or pop them off, whichever you prefer, and wrap them in. We're going to finish the rabbit's eyes off, and we're going to do that by creating 2 small bubbles. We need 2 little bits of black 260. Just put a very small amount of air in, so that's perhaps 3 fingers, and we want to be able to stretch the balloon to create this sort of elliptical shape for the eyeball, sorry, for the pupil. So wrap your black 260 into the muzzle area, position it like so, and then you want to pull this piece back and wrap it into that pinch twist at the back. For the nose, we want a little bit of, I've used blush 350. You could use pink, but I think this character looks better with a blush nose. That's just my preference. Yours may be different. And what we want to do is wrap the 350 into the muzzle, just above that larger pinch twist. And this needs to be very soft. We need to bring it up and twist up a soft bubble in between those 2 smaller pinch twists, and then bring it back. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger and just bring that back through that cluster of pinch twists. So once you're happy with what you've got, twist that round, that cluster, to secure it, trim off the end, wrap it in, tie it in, whatever you prefer to do. And I like to have those two pinch twists coming together so we create this sort of pointed effect with the rabbit's nose. And that's our completed rabbit head. Now for the body of our rabbit. You're going to need a 6-inch quick link in blush, fully inflated, and then let some air out. So this is about the sort of size that you're looking for, probably about 5 inches or so. And you're going to need an 11-inch quick link in mocha brown. I fully inflated this and then let an awful lot of air out. This is maybe 6 inches or so between the 2 points here. Okay, take your blush balloon by the nozzle and put the nozzle on top of the nozzle of the mocha brown. You're going to need to squeeze a lot of the air into the nozzle area of the mocha brown, and then we're marriage twisting these two balloons together, and you're going to push the nozzles that you've got hold of here into this area here, and once you can feel them, take hold of them with your other hand and twist. And take a little bit of 160 balloon, make sure that each end has the end snipped off, so there's a hole in each end, and tie that off. Take a 350 dark blue. This has got a lot of tail on it, probably 8 fingers. Give your balloon a squeeze and make 2 3-finger pinch twists. Okay, give your balloon a squeeze and take the tip of your quick link and just take the air out. And using that tip, tie that into that double pinch twist there. Give your balloon a squeeze, and you're going to measure a bubble down to here, because you're going to want to twist a bubble in at that point. Make it all the way round, and then go back up again and twist another bubble at the top. Take another 350, again with a good long tail, squeeze it, wrap the nozzle into that double pinch twist the neck, and we're doing the same. We're taking the blue, 350 down, that join, and then we're going to come back up. Okay, and this is what we've got. At this point, snip off. If, like me, you've got quite a long tail still, I can probably carry on using this balloon. So I'm just going to snip off the end and add a little bit more air, because I can use what's left here to make an arm. That's about the length of arm that I want, maybe a little shorter, thereabouts. So that is probably 10 fingers or so. Tie that off, and let's see if we can do the same on the other side. I'm not sure that I can, but we will see. Yes, it's looking promising. So we want to match, make 2 bubbles of equal length and then tie that off. Then we don't want those arms too tight, so just roll the nozzles slightly if you need to. And there we've got the beginnings of our body. And now we're going to make the hands. So first of all, you're going to need a 5-inch round, put a little bit of air in it, and give the balloon a squeeze. And doing this, you're making the shine come through. If you don't do this, the balloon will remain rather dull. And we're tying a very soft knot, and we're rolling that knot as high up to the nozzle as we can. You're also going to need a 5-inch round. So put a little bit of air in, give your balloon a squeeze to make it shine, and you're going to knot that very close to the air. So take your 5-inch round, and with the little bit of air that is in there, squeeze that up to the nozzle, and with the knot from the arm, place it on top of the nozzle in the 5-inch round and push those knots through until you can feel them on the other side of this 5-inch round, and just twist. Take our 5-inch round and wrap that tail around a few times. Once you've wrapped it around, tie it into a knot. And pull that knot tight. Trim off the nozzle from your mocha brown, and then we just want to massage this blue cuff a little bit, and with our finger just poke those nozzles back through into the balloon so they're not showing. And you need to do the same on this side. Take a mocha brown 350 with about 7 fingers of tail and make 2 3-finger pinch twists. We then want to make 2 loop twists, and these are going to be our rabbit's feet. So we need to judge how big we want those feet to be. So what's that? A handspan? 7 fingers, 8 fingers maybe. That's what we've got. And make another one of these. Okay, so deflate and tie off the remainder of the balloon, but leave a nice long tail. I'm big on planning ahead, and I'm going to want to put my rabbit onto a base, and he's going to be part of a bigger design, so you may as well just keep that as an attachment point. Right, you're going to wrap your foot into the 12-inch quick link, just using one of the tails from the attachment point or from the quick link itself. Okay, and that's what we've got so far. So we've rearranged our pinch twists at the back. That's how mine have settled quite happily, with the feet pointing forward. And we need to add a little tail. So mine is a 5-inch blush with just a small amount of air in, You may prefer to do a white one. The white tail, as I say so often when I'm teaching, these sorts of design choices are yours to make. So take the nozzle from your 5" and just wrap it round through one of those bubbles and just secure it in position. And then we've got our tail. Next, we want to just adjust these arms. So let's move them and position them slightly between these two bubbles here. And we're ready to attach our head. And now to attach the head of our rabbit. First of all I've done is given these ears a little bit of shaping, just to have them pointing forward a little bit. I've deflated this balloon that was coming out from the neck, and I've manoeuvred these two pinch twists that were sitting under here. I've just moved them to this position at the back of the head, because I think that's going to help me attaching the head. So take this long strap and just attach it, pull it through those two pinch twists at the neck. Pull it through as tight as you can, and then wrap it back up and through that pinch twist. In fact, those two pinch twists at the back of the neck. Next, we're going to make a carrot for our rabbit. You're going to need a number of 5" orange balloons, depending on how big you want your carrot to be. So I have inflated mine with differing amounts of air, so each one going very slightly larger. And then I've also got the tip of an orange 260. So take your little bit of 260 and place the nozzle on top of the nozzle of your smallest 5" round balloon. Squeeze that air up into the nozzle there and bring that down, push it through and twist it off. So that's what you've got. Take your next balloon, the next size, and with the nozzle just wrap that around a few times and secure that in place. Okay, take your next size of orange balloon and with the nozzle place that on the top, and you're pushing that through until you can reach inside. It's tricky, and grab hold of that and twist again. Okay, take a little bit of orange scrap and tie that around where you've twisted that, and just tie that into a knot. It is a bit tricky. You need to get used to tying knots without putting things in your mouth. I see a lot of twisters who will hold things in their mouth, and personally I don't favour that approach. I think as much as possible we should be just getting used to taking a few extra seconds to tie something by hand. We don't want to be encouraging children to put balloons in their mouths. So the only exception I make is if I need to puff inflate a 260. Okay, so this is what we've got. So take your next size of orange balloon. And with the nozzle, place it on the end, push that through, and it does get progressively more difficult as your balloons get a little bit larger. Okay, and we're just going to twist that off, and again with a little bit of orange scrap, wrap that round and then tie. Next, you're going to need a few 260 balloons, and as I said, this is the only time I do any type of mouth inflation, and that's the extent of it. So a little puff of air into each one, and these are going to be the leaves coming out from the end of the balloon. So just line them up, fold them roughly in half, and with a little bit of orange 260 or 160, just tie them. Is tie a knot just below where we've tied that cluster of 260s, and we're going to need to tie a couple of knots because this is the knot that we're going to get hold of to hang on to when we pull it through the middle of the balloon. Okay, trim off the rest, and that's what we've got. So take your leaves and place them on the top here, and push that knot that we created through to the base here. Grab hold of it, and once you've got it, give it a twist. So hold on to it, and with a bit of scrap 260 or 160, wrap it round and then tie it off. And there we have a really fabulous carrot. Now for the base for our rabbit. I've used lime green 11-inch balloons. The top tier are sized to 6 inches, the bottom tier to 7 inches, and I've got the sand weight here. As I've said before, in the real world I would always match my sand weight, the balloons for my sand weight, to my base. But I'm making a contrast here for the purposes of demonstration. And the type of sand I prefer to use is play sand. I get it from my local hobby store. They stock it all year round, and it is safe for children to play with. So in the unlikely event that that balloon tears, then the sand isn't going to cause the children any problems. So that's our base. We're going to make a carrot patch, and this is a great way to use up some of your scraps. So what I have here is a scrap bit of lime green with the nozzle attached, and I'm just going to cut into the lime green about not quite halfway to make the leaves for the carrot. There are a few different ways you can make carrots. This is just one way I do it. You can probably come up with a few of your own. So it's a great opportunity to experiment and just have a bit of fun. You're going to need an orange 350. So inflate that, let out a bit of air and tie. And then take the nozzle from our end of our lime green, just place it on top of the orange nozzle, and then feed that into the balloon and grab hold of it, and at the point where you have taken hold of it, just twist just on this side of the balloon. and that should hold in place. Okay, and then we're just going to twist off a little way down and snip off the end so that we can tie off. Leave yourself a tail of a reasonable length on the end, because we're going to use that just to tie into our base of 11-inch balloons. I'm going to use a brown Sharpie just to do a few lines going all the way around, just to make it a little bit more carrot-like. And this is the extent of the artwork. So there we have a carrot. You can use this technique using a 260 as well. Here's one I've made earlier out of a 260, and I've just used the ends of some scrap 160s there. So make however many of these you want. And here we have our completed rabbit sculpture. He's sitting in his carrot patch, and we've created the basis for the carrot patch just by making some clusters of different sized 5-inch round green balloons, a contrasting green to the lime green of the base. I've used pearl emerald green and emerald green, and we've just done different sizes of bubbles in a sort of an organic style to create those carrot patches.